Okay, so this is the ultimate truth. You see, when you're watching a movie and it's happy, you become happy. If it's sad, you become sad. The thing about life is there's an underlying premise. If life itself is good or bad, it's really remarkable. Let's just deal with a certain reality. There are 700 million adults in the world, which is at least 10% of the world, that want to immigrate. Most of them would love to come to America. So that means you have double the rate of America, meaning the people in America, which is about 360 million, I think, that would actually like to come to America. And yet, many Americans simultaneously, and this is all based on Gallup polls, they themselves feel personal about, before COVID was 90%, now it's about like 84% personal satisfaction in their lives. They think their lives are good. And yet, they have we I mean COVID contributed 50% stress rate, and the great majority of that really comes from watching the media because, and this is such a critical factor. You see, it's all a question about the narrative of life itself. So for example, let's say I'm living in a nice home, everything's fine, but my belief system is, God forbid, there will be a war. So the narrative is negative. Let's say it's the reverse even. I'm not living in such a great reality, but soon it's going to be good. The narrative is positive. So what Obama really brought to America is Obama came from a negative narrative. It was brought up, and these are his own words. And the reason it's important is because Pew has done very extensive research, and 27% of Americans, which comprise 45% of the Democratic Party and the major players, they're basically Obama cult members. And effectively, as he himself said, he was brought up in a Muslim country and he had a negative perception of America. And then he was his all his mentors were all these negative people, haters. And so people that have a negative narrative, and remember, people often take their narrative from their leader. So there's this negative narrative. Of course, these people are miserable and angry and vengeful. That's what Hitler did, right? Before Hitler came to Germany, there wasn't a negative narrative. Hitler gave them a negative narrative. Oh, all your problems are the Jews. And he turned them into mass murderers. So you see, the narrative that we have, which the most important thing is, what is the real narrative? What is the truth? And the truth is very simple. Einstein said, we don't know the truth of the old boss. That's one of the ways they would refer to God. But when we do, I am sure it will be both simple and beautiful. And it really is both simple and beautiful. And the thing is that we have to start off with why. Why did God make us? And the reason God made us is firstly out of love. So it's a beautiful narrative. You are a creation from infinite love. The whole universe is made for you. It's all a beautiful story. Now, obviously, God didn't want you to sit around and twiddle your thumbs. He has a purpose. He wants you to play a part in making the world a better place. And that's exactly what happened when God put Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. He said, La'avda u'lashamra. I give you this beautiful world, but you have to work it. You have to protect it. So we all are part of history, which is his story, which is destiny, which is we all are here to make the world a little bit nicer. We all have a role. So once we see that, the world is an amazing place. And in fact, the statistics show this, that more people, 64% of the world believe they have a personal relationship with God. 84% of the world are believers. We're living in amazing, truly, truly remarkable times when you get rid of all the negative narratives, which are really based, you know, Obama came from a Muslim country. The Muslim country, they basically are jealous of the West. They have a belief that they have to take over the world. Of course, they hate. But normal people that can think, they love, because the world has never been better technologically, when it comes to freedom, when it comes to education, when it comes to spiritual mysticism. We're in the greatest times. We're in the Messianic era already. So just get your head into the positive narrative of reality, and then you will experience the greatest infinite joy you can possibly imagine.